Today I want to talk about a very interesting subject. A fantasy adventure. A swords and sorcery TV show that's on right now. Now, for those of you who don't know, I actually quite enjoy fantasy adventure and swords and sorcery. However, the show we're discussing isn't, well, let's just get into it. Today's subject is The Witcher. More specifically, the Netflix TV adaptation, Season 4, The Witcher. Starring, well, more like co-starring, Liam Hemsworth. So, I just want to preface this by saying I have no real dislike or hatred for any of the actors or actresses. I don't even have a dislike for Lauren Histridge. I'm just going to give a rant / roasting of what I think the show is. I also am not going to be reviewing this because, quite frankly, I would find the whole process quite upsetting. However, I did watch some clips and scenes on the YouTubes, and I also saw the trailer for the series, and I just want to give my overarching opinion on the direction of the show and why I probably won't be watching anything more from The Witcher, even though I did enjoy Season 1. I didn't watch Season 2 because everyone told me it was terrible, and I didn't watch Season 3 because they told me Season 3 was even worse. So, before we get into the scenes or anything else, I want to talk about the trailer first. It was terribly uninteresting for me. This is the first time we see Geralt of Rivia as Liam Hemsworth, and it needed to be great, and I did not see it here. It was okay, and you can't be okay after Henry Cavill left the way he did, and you replaced him with Liam Hemsworth, and all the rumors about the backstage politics ruining this show. You needed for this to be one of the greatest trailers that Netflix has ever produced, and I'm sorry, it wasn't. It came off very low effort. The special effects came off as okay. The stunts, the costume, everything looked okay. The actors, they were doing their best they could with the stuff they were given, but let's be real here. Pretty much everyone's checked out. And this had to be the thing that brings them back. Just a little bit. And I'm sorry, even though their efforts were pretty solid, it wasn't enough. Also, the trailer song. That's from Jupiter Legacy's trailer, right?
Brandon, Chloe, everything you do.
Yeah, it is. You couldn't even... Netflix! You couldn't even get a fresh song for the trailer? You just pilfered it from another failed project? Let's talk about Lawrence Fishburne. I saw him in the trailer and I thought his scenes were pretty good. I've seen a few scenes of him on YouTube, and I think, wow, I'm actually quite impressed by the way he plays his character. Regal is his name? Yeah. His character Regal. And I thought it was pretty good. Now, to be fair, it could be that I just didn't like the trailer. Bad trailers happen. It could also be that I'm reading disproportionate reviews that are unfavorable. That's true. But the growing dislike of it and the comment section just lampooning it, it's hard for me to want to waste time on something that is so disliked and so passed over by everyone. People don't seem to understand that everyone's free time isn't up for grabs for anything. People really respect their free time. They really value it because that's theirs, nobody else's. That minute trailer, people will give their free time to watch a trailer because watching a trailer is relatively inexpensive when it comes to their free time. But if you don't put your best foot forward, then people are just going to go because there are other things to watch. There are other things to do, and you're in competition with all of it. And that minute was your sales pitch to them. Now, I gotta be honest, looking at the ratio, your sales pitch was horrible. Let's talk about the scenes that I saw on YouTube that piqued my interest and made me want to do this video. First up is the fight sequence between the Rats and Leo Bonhart, who is played by Sholto Copley. And he does a fine job of playing a deranged bounty hunter who is just in here for the love of the game. It was a fascinating watch. It was a grand sight to behold. It was well choreographed, well acted out by the actors. Freya Allen's Ciri, she looked better losing than Liam Hemsworth looked winning in the scene I saw him in when he was fighting. That goes high praise for her, because she's been playing this role for a while now, and she should know how to do it at this point. And she does honestly a good job of being that character, of choreographing the fight scene and emoting her emotional situation and the emotional damage that Bonhart is inflicting on her. That brings us neatly along to the second scene I saw, which was Liam Hemsworth's Geralt of Rivia fights with, let's call them the Grapists. Or, you know what, let's call them the Thugs. He did a better job than I thought he was going to do. That being said, he looked bored throughout the fight. He looked like he wasn't there for it. He was there more for the paycheck. Henry Cavill's Geralt had emotions. They were restrained emotions. You could tell he was feeling something in his scenes. But Liam Hemsworth's rendition of the character feels a little bit more distant. So in their effort to make Geralt more emotional, they actually made him less emotional. And this is based off of one scene and a trailer. So take it all with a big old grain of salt. Liam isn't a bad actor. I just think he wasn't given much to work with, and he really didn't know the character as well as Henry did, and it shows through his performance. That's not a slight against him. It's like hiring a brain surgeon to do heart surgery. Now, you and me would understand that something would get lost in translation. But for some reason, Netflix didn't quite understand that when they hired Liam Hemsworth. Henry knew the books. Henry played the video games. And he loved the entire Witcher franchise. You and me would see him as an asset to this project. However, not to Lauren Histridge and the rest of the writing staff. He was seen as something else. He was seen as an afterthought, unimportant, and kind of a problem because he gave them pushback. Well, you got free reign, and look what you made. It's unfortunate that there's not that many great fantasy shows, or even dark fantasy shows. Like, I feel like you could do a great fantasy show right now if the technology, with the potential talent, but they just can't do it. Something about Hollywood that forbids them from doing this, which is sad. Anyway, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Leave in the comments.